There comes a moment in every warrior's life when the world goes silent. Not the kind of silence that soothes, the kind that weighs more than steel, the kind that presses down on your chest until all that remains is the voice inside. In that moment, you will either be free or forever shackled, shackled by memories you never buried, by fears you never faced, by wounds you kept hidden and lies you told yourself just to survive. Most men carry two burdens that no sword can cut: guilt for the roads they walked and fear for the ones they still must travel. But these burdens aren't lifted with strength. They're chains that must be broken by choice. You weren't born to crawl under the weight of regret. You weren't forged in suffering to kneel before doubt. You were born naked, unashamed, unafraid, a blank blade, waiting to be tempered. But the world handed you armor made of guilt. It gave you a map drawn in fear. It told you what was possible and what was forbidden. They were wrong. The way of power is not inherited. It is not handed down. It is carved, inch by inch, by bloodied hands in darkness, in silence. You don't become fearless by denying the storm. You become fearless by walking into it, barefoot, shirtless, unblinking. The mountain doesn't mourn the ones who never reach the peak. The river doesn't grieve the ones who drowned. Nature is merciless, but not cruel. It teaches through pain. It remembers nothing, it forgives nothing, and that makes it perfect. You must become like that, merciless with your excuses, but never cruel with your growth. Unforgiving of weakness, but patient with your strength. Guilt is a blade turned inward, and fear is a ghost made of smoke and whispers. What has passed is gone. The blood spilled cannot be unspilled. The words said cannot be swallowed, and yet men drag the corpses of their pasts like anchors through fire. Cut the rope. You are not your failures. You are not your shame. You are what you do now, with the blade in your hand and the breath in your lungs. Guilt is not wisdom. It is stagnation dressed as reflection. Learn, bow, rise, and never look back. Fear is the shadow of a shadow. It's thunder with no storm. A lie whispered enough times, it becomes scripture. You will not be destroyed by battle. You will be destroyed by the 1,000 imaginary wars you rehearse in your head. Do not negotiate with fear. Do not reason with it. It will not listen. It will not stop. Fear wraps its arms around the unknown and convinces you that pain is guaranteed, that failure is inevitable, that death is certain. But the warrior knows pain is not punishment. It is preparation. It is the grindstone that sharpens the soul. Your mind is the battlefield. Win there, and no enemy can touch you. There will be days when your heart turns to stone, when those you trusted become strangers, when even your own reflection feels like an imposter. These are not curses. They are rites of passage. A man who has never lost has never lived. You must walk the scorched earth without bitterness. Carry your scars without apology. They are not flaws. They are proof that you stood your ground when the ground gave way. Detach, not from honor or compassion, but from outcome, from entitlement, from the illusion that life must be fair. A blade does not ask what it will strike. It simply strikes true. So must you act, not for applause, not for validation, but because your way demands it. The world is loud with cowards, men who scream from shadows, who seek comfort and call it peace, who trade dignity for safety and call it wisdom. You must be the stillness they fear. Let them chase comfort. Let them build kingdoms from sand and sleep under fake skies. You will walk through fire. You will speak with silence. You will move like wind that leaves no trace but bends the forest. To forgive yourself is not to forget. It is to let go once, not daily, not every hour. Once fully, and let it burn. To be fearless is not to be reckless. It is to see the blade coming and walk toward it anyway. There is no safety, no guarantees, only presence. And presence is power. The warrior walks alone, not because he rejects the world, but because he has made peace with it. He no longer begs to be understood. He no longer asks permission. His path is carved in silence, in pain, and in ruthless clarity. And at the end, not applause, not trophies, just mastery. Walk that path. Carry no guilt. Carry no fear. Burn everything that is not you. What remains is unbreakable. The blade is not forged in peace. It is honed through friction. Steel meets stone again and again, until all that remains is the edge. So must your spirit be forged, not cradled, not comforted, but challenged, stripped, tested. You will not rise by avoiding the fire. You rise by standing in it, soaked, burned, blinded, but unyielding. A true warrior does not pray for an easier path. He welcomes the trial. He knows that without weight, strength is fiction. Without fire, the forge is useless. Without loss, honor is a lie. So he walks forward with instom, with nothing but presence. No guilt, no fear, only aim. There is power in standing still while the world panics. There is clarity in silence when all scream. There is unspeakable strength in moving slow, because you are not running from anything. This is not delay. This is discipline. This is control. The sword that trembles cuts nothing. The sword that breathes strikes once and ends all things. Be that sword. If they misunderstand you, so be it. If they call you cold, arrogant, distant, let them. You were not born to be understood. You were born to understand, to see through illusion, to cut through lies, to peel the world down to truth. Most men fear that truth, so they hide in distraction. They worship praise. They decorate their cages and call them homes. You must tear it all away. Strip it down to breath, to blood, to decision. There, in the hollow, you will meet yourself. You won't find yourself in applause. You won't find yourself in comfort. You will find yourself at the edge, when everything is gone and you're still standing. That's when you know. You were never the armor, never the pain, never the praise. You were the will behind the eyes. The fire no storm could kill, the hand that never stopped rising. You are not here to be safe. You are here to be sovereign. And the sovereign does not beg, does not kneel, does not break. He simply steps forward, always forward. And when all is quiet, when the fire has died, when even your name fades with time, let your life answer one final question. Did you live as the blade, or did you spend your life hidden in the sheath? Too many men grow old without ever being alive, half awake, half afraid, half-hearted. They avoid the edge undone and remain dull. They avoid solitude on and become echoes. They avoid death and never truly live. But not you. You were not carved to be common. You were forged for fire, so burn, not wildly, not wastefully, but with purpose, like the ember that refuses to die, like the forge that births the sword. Let your discipline roar louder than your desire. Let your footsteps write vows in stone. Let your presence answer every challenge before a word is spoken. You owe this world nothing but the fullest truth of your strength. So don't kneel, don't bow, don't flinch. Train for silence. Act with resolve. And when the world forgets your name, let your fire still burn in the silence you left behind. Unbent, unbroken, unapologetically alive.